Good morning everyone. My name is Poojita, pursuing MSc Microbiology in Central University of Tamil Nadu. As the part of my seminar series, today I am going to present marine ecosystem in the saltpan zone. This is the brief general overview of marine ecosystem. First definition: marine ecosystems are the saltwater systems where the countless living organisms survive and interact with each other. And coming to the coverage, oceans are very huge. Uh, they cover the most of our planet and stores the almost all of the water and provide the largest living space for plants and animals. And coming to the donations, the ocean is not same everywhere. Means some parts are near to the beach, some are very deep, and each part has its own type of life. And coming to the importance, they provide food. Means the ocean feeds us and gives people work, and it's balance the Earth's climate, and it is the home to a huge variety of living creatures and threats. Human actions are harming oceans, like taking too many fishes or warming the water or polluting it or destroy the coastal homes of these sea animals. And coming to the global priority, it is recognized under UNSGD 14. Life below the water means United Nations has made 17 big goals for world called Sustainable Developmental Goals. Under SGD 14 means life below water means it's only focuses on seas, oceans and marine life. Coming to the types of marine coastal ecosystems, first one is coral reef. As we can see, it is built by the colonies of corals forming calcium carbonate skeletons, and then mangroves. These are the salt tolerant trees or shrubs found in the intertidal zones of tropical or subtropical coasts, and then seagrass meadows. These are the plants. These are the plants forming a dense underwater meadows, and then kelp forests. These are like underwater dense forest formed by the large brown algae called microcysts or laminaria, and then estuaries. As we know, the zones where river meets the sea, and then lagoons. These are the shallow coastal water bodies submerged by the sandbars and coral reefs, and then salt marshes. These are the coastal wetlands dominated by the salt tolerant grasses and peat soil, and then intertidal zones. These areas are exposed at low tides or submerged at high tides. And then coming to the our main part, salt pan zone. Salt pan zones are also called solar saltans or salt evaporated ponds. How it is made means people make the shallow ponds near the oceans, let the water and dry it up in the sun and collect the salt that forms. And that all salt pans are not man-made, some are formed naturally. Means when the seas or lagoons, that waters dried up due to the hot or dry places like intertidal floods or lagoons. And coming to the salinity or salt levels, normal seawater has the 3.5% of salt, means 35 grams in every liter of water. But in the salt pan zones, due to the continuous evaporation, the salt levels are much higher. In some cases, the salt pan zones, in the salt pan zones, the salinity is much higher, means 10 times higher than the normal seawater. And then they are usually found in the coastal areas where the seawater can easily brought in, and also found in the near coastal regions like salt marshes, mangroves and intertidal flats. And these are the examples of salt where salt pan zones are found in India and world. And the zones where more research is done, in first one is Mediterranean solar saltans in Spain, France and Tunisia. Here the researchers found the classic model for microbial successions, and San Francisco Bay salt ponds, USA. Here heavily research is on biotechnology in pigments, enzymes and extremophiles. And then Dead Sea, it is in Israel or Jordan. It is the landmark study on halophilic archaea, osmoadaptations and pigment productions. And then Indian salt pans of Ran of Kutch in Gujarat, Sambar Lake in Rajasthan and Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. Here the interest is now growing on in microbial enzymes, carotenoids or bioremediations. But this studied is but it is understudied compared to the Mediterranean or US saltons. But the research is now expanding, especially in the Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. Then coming to the which salt pan belongs to, means the salt pan zone. Does the salt pan zones belongs to? The salt pans are also comes under the coastal ecosystems. The coastal ecosystem, they are similar to the salt marshes or intertidal zones. Then comes to the microbes that present in the salt pan zones. Because the salt pan zones are extremely salty places, most of the normal plants and animals cannot survive there, but special microbes like halophiles, like means salt loving microorganisms, can survive and thrive at harsh environment. First one, halophilic archaea, salt loving archaea. Example, halobacterium, halophorix, halococcus. These are produce red, pink and orange pigments. Orange pigments like beta carotenoids and bacteriorhospins. These are the tiny salt loving bacteria that give salt pans their red and orange pigments. And then halotolerant bacteria, halophilic bacteria like Serenibacter ruber. It is a deep red color bacterium. It produces pigments to protect itself from the sunlight. And then halomonas, these are grows in the salty wastewater. It is used in the bioremediation and makes the bioplastics. And comes to the cyanobacteria and algae, green algae. These are also live in the salt pan zones, but mostly Dunalia ella. It is very important because it makes beta carotenoids, which we can use in the food and cosmetics. And then very few fungi that can survive in the salt pan zones, that we can use it as extraction of enzymes and then use of and making of medicines. And some other interesting microbes are also found in the salt pan zones, like viruses, which they infects the halophilic archaea. And some small protists, they are survive by feeding on the bacteria and archaea. And some halophilic yeast that we can use in the fermentation and biotechnological applications. And this is the table for few more examples of microbes that which are present in that extreme salt zones, like salt pan zones. This is the microbial taxon type, examples and occurrence, their adaptations, means adaptations of that microbes and features, and their functions and their ecological role. And it is a small case study. Biotechnological potential of halophilic microorganisms from Indian salt pan zones. Area location is Chappyar Salt Pan, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. The main aim of this study is to isolate, identify, and test the halophilic bacteria their potential, to test the biotechnological potential and methodology. The researchers, they were done morphological and biochemical identification and screening for biosurfactant production. For that screening, they are used several tests like hemolytic activity test, oil dispersion test, and drop collapse assay. And then findings: out of 10 halophilic bacterial isolates, 4 showed a positive biosurfactant production. Among these, one strain is very strongly produce biosurfactants, means it is efficient in the production of biosurfactant products. Then comes to the applications. These biosurfactant produced by these bacteria have several applications. Some of these like anti-cancer activity and environmental remediation and industrial cleaning agents. Unlike chemical detergents, these are biodegradable and non-toxic. Coming to the significance, this study shows the Indian salt pan zones are treasure troves for discovering the microbes that are used in the science and industrial applications. Then coming to the uses and biotechnological applications, the microbes which are present in these zones are interest for several reasons, like enzyme productions. The enzymes produced by the extremophiles called extremogynes, because The microbes are grown in the extreme conditions. The enzymes produced by that microbes also often stable in the extreme conditions. Then antimicrobial and secondary metabolites. Here we can see the species Actinomyces, microbial taxon Axomyces, the species Streptomyces. It is produced some compounds that are used to fight against bacterial and fungal. These are the good sources for the production of novel antibiotics and then bioremediation. These are the microbes that can grow in the heavy metal or degrade the hydrocarbons like crude oil that we can use in the cleaning the polluted water. And nutrient cycling and ecosystem. These bacteria helps in the fixation of nitrogen, sulfur and nitrogen, etc. Means we can use in the nitrification, denitrification, sulfur oxidation and reduction. It helps in the nearby ecosystems. And at the analogs, anti-analogs, saltpan zones are used as analogs for possible lives in the extreme environments that we can use, means that we can test the limit of the life in the extreme conditions like exposed heavy UV exposure, extreme salt, etc. like that. And we can use it in the sedimentation formants in the geology, geomicrobiology and industrial exploitations of salt itself and associated products. And why it is important to study the saltpan ecosystems. Understanding the extremophiles, we can understand the extremophiles means the genes which are responsible for resist the extreme conditions. And then we can study novel biotechnological resources and ecosystem. Means as is said, the top points under the uses and biotechnological applications, same comes under the importance to study the saltpan zones. That's the overall thing. Thank you.